Hello everyone, and welcome to the Arcade Lounge. Today, we're going to be playing Phantasy Star Online. I've already created a character here. We are Ark the Ranger. So we're just going through some tutorial quests right now. Now these stamps, whenever of course you clear all three, you get bonuses for doing so. Alright, so we have a quest to do here. We're going to do a quick look over here. Right now we're looking to see if any of these we can do at the beginning. Let's see. No, not yet. But of course, as we get further on, we can do more and more of those quests. So we were given a quest here to subdue Zaudon. So that's what we're going to do here. Alright, so we'll go ahead and allow anyone to join if they wish. And by the way, I should probably advise that because this is an MMORPG, other people will be posting, and every time they say something it will appear on a screen, and if they do use profanity, I apologize in advance. Every time we go to a new planet, we will be able to see that cutscene. Of course, each planet looks different. Typical WASD controls. By double tapping in one direction, you can use an invasion move like that, which you of course earn style points for. Style points are not accurate, but it looks good. So, as a ranger, of course we have a rifle and a rocket launcher, because of course that's what rangers have, right? So, right now, we see our first enemies here, Udons. Monkey-type creatures, they use lunging attacks. That's about all they do. I tend to jump around quite a bit because it's easier to dodge attacks that way. Left click fires, right click uses your abilities, and your PP or photon points refresh as you play, or by destroying enemies with it, with basic attacks. It's not too much of a concern either way. It refreshes quite quickly. Something's missing here. Ah! Camera! These supply crates probably won't be needed here. Rappies aren't too much of a threat either. They try to peck you. And whenever they're defeated, they play dead. But then you can hit them one more time before they disappear back into their hole to get just a little bit of extra Meseta, or which is our currency, or whatever other items that you're going to be given. Based on their drops, of course. You can tell when they're about to... Basically, if you're able to target them again, they're about to stop playing dead and try to escape. Should probably... There we go. Much better. Now that's going to heal us, but that's not a problem, as we're at full health. And as we're playing from further away than most melee classes, we most likely will not be put in any real danger. Not yet, anyway. Now, Gulfs here attack in similar fashion to the Udons. They do lunging attacks at you, and they try to surround you like this. So you'll have to keep an eye on where all three of them are, because they do like to attack in packs. However, and this is something I haven't mentioned yet, enemies have weak points based on where you're attacking. Gulfs, Fangulfs, and Rappy's weak points are all on their heads, as a little more added incentive to attack from the air. You can tell you're attacking their weak point, of course, because the damage nearly doubles. Because we're doing 60 or so damage to their body, 100 plus to their head. So, if you attack from above, you're more likely to hit their head. Now there is one more trick you can do. By holding the Z key, you can actually aim, which allows aiming for their head so much easier. We're on Udons here. The only problem with this is you lose a little bit of your mobility in doing this, because you have to keep track of your mouse cursor as well as your keyboard. So I don't think... Oh, you can. Scratch that. Makes it a little bit easier to be hit by attacks, but you can still dodge, so it's not a big deal. Of course, with Zaudon, as that creature was about to do, they try to throw rocks at you. If you're able to break the rock, it stuns them for a second, but if you're not able to, you have to dodge the rock, or, of course, just evade like that. It's no big deal. Pretty self-explanatory. Nice and quick, right? Alright, so we have Fangulfs to deal with now. Oh, we picked up a few equipment items while we were on that particular mission, so let's see what we've got. Okay. So that will boost our defenses, striking, ranged, and technique or spell-based defenses accordingly. Yes, so this would typically give 25 technique defense, but with a stat modifier, 35. That'll come in handy. You can have 3, by the way, which, personal preference, I like to have 1, of course, for ranged, 1 for technique, and 1 for striking. So it looks like there's a Sonic Adventure event going on right now, which I am absolutely okay with because the game has fantastic music. What have you got for us? So, we have to subdue the Fangulf. Do we have to include him? Alright, fine. It doesn't really look like we have to include him, so let's not. Do you have anything for us? Nope. As I'm not a Japanese speaker, what I typically do is just rush through the Japanese text. Because even though this game was unofficially patched into English, it's still primarily a Japanese game, of course. So here we have our store. Monomates, dimates, and trimates are healing items, of course. Atomizers are revive items. The Shiftaride and Daemonride are buff items. Telepipes will cause a gate to appear so we can return if we need to for any reason. It's pretty self-explanatory. Right now, we don't really need these yet, but having healing items will definitely come in handy later. So since we now have new items, we should add these to our hotbar. So let's see here. Sub-pallets. Dimates should go here. There we go. That should be fine. Now it's time to go on a wolf hunt. So we're completing 2 quests now. One for Aphen, and the client quest that we're supposed to do typically. So we're greeted with level 3 monkeys here. So let's try out our new weapon, well, not a new weapon, our second weapon, our launcher. Launchers are best for mobs, of course, while rifles, depending on if you're able to hit their weak point or not, are actually better dealt with your rifles. That, by the way, is a secondary ability of the launcher. So we'll go ahead and complete this particular level with the launcher. So these little yellow diamonds, these are Meseta, of course. Those green diamonds themselves are items typically. Orange are typically weapons. Purple are, well, purple pink sort of, are your armor. Pink primarily, those are actually items for your room if you have a multiplayer lobby. And red are rare items. You can tell what they are because if it has the shape of a weapon, of course it's a weapon. If it looks like an armor piece, it's an armor, of course. It's pretty self-explanatory. Now, we rushed through the first quest, but even after completing the quest, you can still stick around for a little bit if you want to pick up some extra experience Meseta items. It's just that there will be those gates all over the place, so that you can leave whenever you'd like. Ah, our first weapon. While we have a little bit of downtime, we'll go ahead and switch them out, see if it's any better than what we have now. Equip weapons. Rifle NT. No, it doesn't appear to be. Then again, it does have poison. And it has a ranged attack plus 10 modifier, which still is 18 weaker than what we already have. But that's because we're using a launcher. It's a little bit of a bummer, but if you want to switch weapons based on a particular class, you should probably switch to the one you're using. So this particular one does not provide any buffs to ranged attack, but it does give a poison modifier. So we'll go ahead and use that instead. So let's try out poison, shall we? Now you're poisoned. As you would expect, poison does damage over time. Still though, we're using our launcher for this particular quest, so... I see you there. Just taking a quick glance at the mini-map. See if there was anyone coming behind, or anything coming behind. Hey buddy. Bye. Launcher does a lot more damage at first, but there are particular... I guess you can call them class abilities. There are areas in the skill tree which will give your rifle some pretty significant buffs, especially if you're able to focus on their weak point and attack there primarily, if not always. Okay, we'll take the long way. You've probably noticed already, but we also have a melee weapon, although I don't prefer using it. So you have a Fangolf now. What do you do? Hey buddy. You can press the Q key to focus on your opponent. His howls, of course, buff him. He lunges at you much like the original Golf does. Like that. Other than that, you're like most standard Golfs we've seen so far. Oh, we have another one. Hey, buddy. Looks like we had manual aim on, that didn't work. You do have a bit of invulnerability frames when you're using your evasive maneuver. So we have a new armor piece and a new rifle. I don't think I'll be spoiling too much to show you. Much like in Zelda, you can use your melee attacks to cut the grass. Which seems impractical in the most awesome way. You do move a bit faster with a melee weapon as well. But the primary reason to cut the grass, there may be little switches hidden in the grass to help unlock new items or boxes which may give you supplies. Now the thing about being a ranger, as you've probably noticed with those Fangolfs, kinda flimsy. It's the definition of a glass cannon, especially with the rifle, or launcher I should say. Rifle will come in handy later. It's just a little bit of OCD completionist going on here. Some more money. Now I set a personal challenge to myself not to use the player shops, because this game has an auction house much like Diablo 3 does, and you can make your character pretty stupid powerful if you buy some of the player items and give yourself huge boosts to your strength that you should not have already. So instead we're going to be basing our character on what we find. Alright, so we'll switch over to our rifle because it looks like it was a rifle we picked up. What do we get? This particular rifle gives you just a little bit more. I'm going to call it mana because let's split hairs here. That's what it is. All right, but I don't think you provide poison anymore. That's okay though. I don't think we got a new launcher here. Nope. We did get another gun slash though, which our swords are essentially. It looks like one of those boosts our dexterity, so let's check that real quick. Looks like they both do. Okay, never mind. Hi, Kofi. Yes, I know where you are. Just going to turn the game down just a little bit because the Sonic Adventure music is quite a bit louder than everything else. Hey, buddy. Sure. As you would expect, the biggest boost to your experience comes from completing quests. Alright. So we completed our card. And it looks like we have an armor piece to go along with it too. So, weapon switching. We've already done that, but this is still the tutorial, so for all intents and purposes. So, photon arts. Those are your abilities. We'll be going over that in a little bit. Setting buffs for yourself. We're not playing as a summoner, so we'll ignore that for now. What have you got for us? Okay, so Fangolf horns. You'll see why mags are very important later. I'll go over that when we get one. This is a pretty powerful ability we have here. Or, equipment piece, I should say. So, we have to complete a training quest. And we're done. Alright. So now we also have to complete Dagon Extermination. We'll probably have Aphan. Now we're level 9. We'll probably have Aphan join us for that particular quest. Because for some reason they tend to like when you invite them on quests with him. So then. So we have 2 here. So this is going to be a pretty significant boost to our defenses, but it boosts pretty much everything. And one of the things I like the most is that it boosts your ranged attack as well, which, as a ranger, is our priority. So doing a quick once over, seeing if there's anything else. Yes, there is. Are you the one that gives us boost? Yes. Which, by the way, was worth it, because we're going to get a whole lot more than 150 Meseta for completing that quest. Hey, buddy. We're going to get 1,000, and a huge boost to our experience as well. Alright, so what else do you have for us? As we're playing solo, it's probably not a good idea to try that particular quest. PSC bursts are quite rare. Okay, so you can collect the rings. That's awesome. And I do have the game turned down, but it does make a metallic ring sound that you would expect, which is a nice touch. There you are, buddy. So we do have to include Jean, I should say, on one of our quests. Let's see. Grinding, we're not quite ready for yet. I love it. So, we have a quest to withdraw and deposit an item, so... there we go. I wouldn't want to throw away one of our experience boosts, because we're doing this the old-fashioned way. Actually, while we're here, why not? Hola, señor. ¿Cómo está usted? Nothing here. Disc shop, of course. These are how you learn new abilities. I think we may already have one. So let's find out, shall we? Go into items. Yes, we do. We have Zonde and Symphonic Drive. Can we use Zonde? I guess we can. Okay, now we should equip those. Normal attack. Grenade shell. And 1 point, I guess. For launcher. Well, we already have Divine Launcher, so Concentrate 1 would be good. Looks like we don't have anything new for our Gunslash yet. Which is fine. Hey! You're welcome. Although you didn't actually do anything. Okay, so we switch weapons. So we have a new quest complete. Alright, so what else do we have? Okay. So now it's time to go to the tech tree. Okay. And we have another one for armor. And that's it. Now, because like he just said, you do not get to reset what your skill tree looks like. Time to cheat for just a minute. We only need to spend 1 point here, but still. So, learn class skills. So I was looking over the tree here. A weak bullet is actually very important, so we should probably put at least 1 point into dexterity boost. And we'll save the rest for later. But I will turn this in. Alright, so what's quest number 4? Oh, we've already done it. Cool. Experience boost gain. Alright, good to know. Alright, so we already have the mag quest. And to be entirely honest, I think we're a lot higher than level 3. Okay, so Dagon Extermination. Let's just make it for fun. Anyone can join if they want. I wonder why we can't match in multiple blocks yet. Oh well. We'll go ahead and do this mission with Jean. Regardless, I will be flipping between the two all of the times. So we have Aphen. Alright, so with that done, we'll go ahead and complete this quest. I believe we have to get an S rank. Okay, let's go. And we'll go ahead and use the gun slash for this quest. These guys use a poke attack, and they try to lunge at you as well. That's about it. Now there are combos for the gun slash. Normal, normal, special. That's on Rakuten, by the way. Mines aren't too big of a threat. That combo's very, very handy. Does a lot of damage, so you'll be seeing me use it a ton. Okay, I thought that's where the items were, but I was wrong. First time for everything, right? That was a joke, of course. Left, left, right. Left, left, right. You can deal with most any enemy, or mob anyway, at this level, with that combo. Ah, that one got away. Do your job, Jean. Hello. Goodbye. Any others? Yeah, they typically also attack in packs. Although they're not much of a threat. We have to collect 100 points, obviously. So now we're going to a multi-party area. Which means that people in other parties, other rooms, are able to join. So that's how PSE bursts are triggered. By and large, it happens with more players. Which is why I'm not going to go out of my way to try to get them to unlock. This looks just like my yard. Ha 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 ha. Obvious joke is obvious. Four. Interesting. Now, as you lunge forward just a little bit with each strike, we were naturally able to avoid that attack. Because we're good at video games, right? Now, one thing I forgot to mention is when you do have AI join your party, they'll join at the same level you are. These red enemies are typically tougher, health-wise, and they do a bit more damage, but typically they're just as easy to dispatch as any others. Give you a little bit of a boost to your experience as well. This, by the way, is why there are switches. So if we wish to, we can find what unlocks them and get what's inside, of course. Standard MMORPG fare. So that particular message was talking about emergency quests. You typically find those in free exploration quests. They provide a pretty decent boost to your experience in Meseta. But it doesn't stop the mission. You complete it, and then of course you get back to what you were in the middle of. Huh, didn't launch that one. Guess he was defeated before we were able to. Suits me just fine. Just trying to get a quick glance at where the other two were. So that did a whole 1 point of damage. Okay, time to switch. I'm a liar. You now see why. Briada like to summon Darkers. Or Dagons, I should say. The weakness of the Briada, the little core in the back. They don't do too terribly much damage-wise. They don't attack very much either. They're more spawners for weaker enemies, like the Dagon that you just saw we took care of. Alright, looks like we're already maxed out of those. Probably monomates, I would say. Yep, that's what they are. It seems like we move a little faster with a blade, but could be mistaken. see there's still some more enemies over here. So you have a little bit more of this area to explore. Of course, since we have 100, there's no real point of clearing these, except for experience. The experience of knowing you've a job well done, and then some, as we're going out of our way to clear everything. Nothing more this way. Jean is way back there, that blue circle behind us. Looks like that's about it. So, let's move on, shall we? All right. So we're going to need to find Lisa. And Hans. And possibly Ravel. All right. Hello. So this is going to give us a huge experience boost. We might level up 3 times. Twice. So we're going to have to do a free exploration next. Which is usually much larger. Has more areas. Plus, we'll see new enemies too. And a boss. Hello. So we have to defeat 12 Dagon, huh? Alright, good to know. Now Hans here is on the other side. So Nibirius natives and a rock bear. Okay. And by the way, you can tell the quests that you're on here, client orders. You can have up to 20. We have 7. So we've yet to turn these in to Jean. So we might as well before we start the free explore, shall we? Once again, Jean's over here. We're just taking the long way. I'm going to collect a few more rings so we can become Super Arc. Hello. Yes, we know how to switch. Visiphone is how you use the player shops, which again are much too powerful for this particular run. So in that case, we have a free explore to do. Matching settings, maybe? No. Free field. Perhaps this one we can do a quest with. I wonder why we can't. Sure, that'll work. Since we're hardcore, we won't be using partner characters. Who needs them, right? We sure don't. Because we're amazing. But let's make sure we have the best items we can here. So this seems quite a bit better than what we have already. Oh, oops. Did that complete the quest, or is there more to it? Yes. So we need arm and leg units. So I wonder if de-equipping and re-equipping will work. Yes, it will. So that's fine. There we go. So it'll give us more technique defense, but less striking defense. Yeah, that should be fine. We'll deal with this one with a rifle. And perhaps switch if we need to. Okay. I like the wings. It's a nice touch. Hello there. So it looks like there are already other players here. Good to know. Hi. That, by the way, is a PSE boost. We have to trigger 8 of those to get the burst. Looks like you're a ranger as well. Good to know. I do very much enjoy playing ranger. It was the first class I've ever used. Looks like she went back? No, she's still here. So now we have a level 3 for a wind boost. Now, as you are graded, and one of which is enemies destroyed, that's why I'm so particular about exploring everything. One of the benefits of having other players around is every enemy that they defeat, you get credit for as well. And loot is not split among the party. Everyone gets their own items. Just a good touch. This game is very generous when it comes to parties. Anything over here? Oh, a rare egg. Nice. And as you just saw, we cleared the rock by firing from above. Stun the Zaudon. None of these animals, well, they are animals really. Nothing's a major threat. So we're level 4, 4, and 2. You just came out of nowhere. So did your destruction. Come on now, wake up. Hello. There we go. Senseless destruction for money. Oh, hello. Using our basic attack a little bit to boost our photon gauge. As I said before, I'm going to be calling it interchangeable things. Oh. That little yellow diamond there is one of our quest items. They drop with pretty good accuracy. Percentages? They drop well. Not exactly 100%, but enough that you should be able to complete whatever quest you're looking for without having to go too far out of your way. There we go. So, with this switched over to all like this, we should be able to see how much of each item that we need and what we've picked up. Things like that. I headed over to party because just in case people decided to say things that they probably shouldn't say. Although, who am I to judge, right? Just trying to keep this a clean stream. Now, mines, you can clear from far away before they even trigger. Oh, hello. Agnes, what do you do? Other than dive at us. Oh, come on. I guess you're not the attacking type, are you? I know you do attack. Oh well. Unfortunately, rockets are super effective against birds. But then again, a lot of the most used types are. That, of course, just means we don't have enough photon to use that ability. It's pretty self-explanatory. Level 2. You, of course, don't have to clear everything because enemies will continually spawn while you're in the same area. So I'm not going to go out of my way to clear the same area over and over again. It wouldn't make for a good stream, would it? I wouldn't say so. It's nice and quiet. Rain's a nice touch. We find our friend again? You're up here, aren't you? Yep, there you are. Well, we're not going to blow past everything just because we have a new friend. Instead, we're going to clean up her mess. This armadillo dude does rolling attacks. And if it misses you, it can get stunned or knock itself over. Standard attacks don't do much to it because of its hard to take care of it, of course. However, just like that, you can attack its belly for massive damage. Oh. Helping. This is what helping looks like. Naka's not a very social person. Starting to learn that the hard way. No metal off our gun. I assume it's metal. It could be a very durable plastic. Looks like it could be plastic. More gulfs, huh? We'll explore this area, let the enemies draw near to each other, and we'll wipe them out in a few well-placed missiles, rockets. How can you jump like that? You're being silly. Now the thing about our armadillo friends is they actually do a lot of damage. Lightning! So I'm making light of them because, especially with a rocket launcher, they aren't much of a threat. Except damage-wise, they kind of are. Because remember now, we have, what was it, about a high 300 when it comes to striking damage? So I imagine that's what you have. There's a lot of aggressive lightning here, isn't there? And now we're back to full photon again. Oh, another quest item. Nah, that's all we needed. So now we can get a mag. Which is probably going to be a good place to stop. But first we have a boss to slay. Oh, never mind. So rifles naturally are not very good against Gorongos. But if you wait for them to use their rolling attack, you can clear them just fine. And these pink items, this flower, once again, would be for a multiplayer party room. But we don't need no parties. And yes, that improper English was quite intentional. You don't know it wasn't. More birds! Hey guys, any of you going to attack me? Birds and wolves. Okay. That wasn't too much of a problem, was it? I don't think so. On to Area 3, where I believe the boss will be waiting. Fine. Only because you're in the way. It is a nice touch that you automatically shift from one enemy to another after they're defeated. It's a nice touch. Enemies just keep spawning if you stay in the same area. So there's no real point in doing so. But I do it anyway. Okay. Yeah, gulfs though, I'm not too concerned about those. Let's stick around for just a few minutes and see if anything triggers. Nope. Okay. Off we go. Getting quite a bit of Meseta here though, aren't we? Alright, so yes, the boss is waiting. You can tell because there's a... Can you call that a healing pod chamber thing? Whatevs. Boss time! Weak points, as expected, would be the head. But until we attack, let's see what you do. So, grapple attacks. Body slams. What else? A missed body slam does of course trigger to be stunned for a few seconds. Speaking of stunned, I never said bosses are hard. You missed, buddy. It's a good thing you missed too, because they do a ton of damage. Success! Ooh, we have a rare armor piece. Success! I did come back. You're pretty much guaranteed an S rank, as long as you don't die. Nah, we won't be doing that. No. No, thank you. So we have some quests to turn in, I believe. We completed the forest. Fun ticket. We'll get to that eventually. But first, no thanks. 5,000 experience, that'll level us up. Yep. Okay. This will allow us to play hard mode. Yes, I'm going to do it, of course. Which of course means now we'll be playing hard mode going forward. Because why wouldn't we? Hey buddy. Okay. Did we complete your quest? Yes, we did. Hey buddy. Typically, what he says is in Japanese, so... So we have a lot more quests to complete with him, but we'll get to that later. As soon as I learn how to platform. There we go. There's no purpose for getting up here. I'm just glad that you can. Hey, Ravel. We never actually did that quest, did we? Silly us. And by us, I mean me. So, that's all that's left, right? Yep. Okay. So there's just one more thing that we're going to do. And we're going to do it up here for no reason. We're going to do an armor and weapons check. Anything new? Not really. Okay. Nothing good here. That's a tough decision. But then again, I'll probably be okay. So, we'll go ahead and call it here. Next time we play, we'll begin exploring the volcanic caves. Thanks for watching, everybody.